Okay, you can certainly arrange songs on a 3-string cigar box guitar just the same way you do for a standard 6-string guitar. And you can even figure out songs note for note if you like, but you have to be a little crafty. Because let's consider a few things. On a 6-string standard guitar, if you played that open position G chord and you played each note, you would get G, B, D, G, B, D. Those are the 3 tones of the major scale, but now they're doubled up. Tone-wise from the major scale, you're getting 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. So because the standard guitar, how it works is it takes those open position chords and makes them movable by having your finger act like the nut. You bar across, you make one of those open position major chords, and now you have movable chords. So you have different forms. You have C form, A form, G form, E form, and D form, and they're all movable. Now, the 3-string cigar box guitar tuned in open tuning works a little different. In the last video I explained, simply if you bar across a fret, you got a movable major chord. And the other chord shapes are based on finding the root note, and that's like, for instance, if we're playing a G chord on one of the other strings. So you end up basically with 3 forms of the same chord that are all movable, or you're going to actually get some open position too. For instance, if I wanted to play that G, and I wanted to play it in the same configuration of 1, 3, 5, just like on the standard guitar, I'd have to play it over here. Then the inversion would flip the notes over here, and then one more in an open position over here. Okay, and actually that is another movable chord, but because how I have it positioned to get the G, I'm using this open string. So let me just kind of explain that. So if I wanted to play the A, and I move this up 2 frets, that note would be right there on the 2nd string, 2nd fret. So the chord shape would look like this, and that would be an A. So my 3 A's would be So in the last clip, you saw my rendition of the introduction for Stairway to Heaven arranged for 3-string cigar box guitar. Now first off, it's not in the original key. I'm starting on an E minor. If I wanted to play it starting on that A minor, I'd have to root my 3rd finger on the 3rd string at the 12th fret, and that would give me an A minor. But I would need access higher up the neck, or I'd have to arrange the song and the chords on the left-hand side here. But I thought it sounded nice, so I left it the way it is. But what if I wanted to keep my arrangement just the way it was, but I want to have it sound in the original key? So that would mean that on the 3rd string, 7th fret, I'd have to have an A note to get that A minor. Okay, so let's walk through this, because I really find this fascinating. So the first question would be, what key has A as the 5th tone? That would be D. D, G, A. So if I tune this string to D, the 7th fret would be an A. Okay, then the next thing we got to get the tuning. So next question is, what key has the 5th tone of D? Because remember our configuration for our tuning, it's going 5, 1, 3. That would be the key of G. G, C, D. Okay, so I tune this D, G, B. Key of G. And then if I made my chord, it would sound as an A minor. See, that's what I find fascinating, because you could talk about a devil's tuning. You could tune this to any one of the 13 keys, and because you only know kind of how you're tuned, and you're doing all these different chord shapes, nobody's going to really figure out what the hell you're doing, So one other thing, in the last clip I said to you that you could arrange these songs note for note exactly. And mine's not that way. It's more primitive. I'm kind of keeping it simple so it's fun to play. But think about it for a minute. If you listen to the original, it sounds like it's moving. They're playing arpeggios. They're picking out the chord. So it's kind of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I wanted to be more to the original, I'd have to go something like this. See, there's that high note, that fourth note. So you see, you could figure these out like that and be really crafty and get all those little chord shapes. But I think this one sounds really kind of pretty and primitive, and I take advantage of that low third string for my fourth tone.